I guess that went a little bit longer than I thought. Here's part 2 of what's in my backpack. So this is a Marmot Vapor, and it's a good pack. It's about 2 pounds. You can see I have it not very well organized here. It weighs about 2 pounds, let's see, 2 pounds 14 ounces, somewhere around there. So I really like this pack. They call it a day pack, but this is way too much for a day pack. This has a really great ventilation system in the back, and it keeps you cool all day long, especially on those hot days. It also supports weight surprisingly well. I've had around 40 pounds in this before and was still as comfortable as you can be in 40 pounds. But I would try to keep this thing 35 pounds or under. Totally doable. But yeah, this basically has everything I want in a backpack. The hood, I honestly could do without the hood, but it makes it really nice to grab my camera, which is important for you guys. And it's important for me because that's one of the things that makes backpacking so much fun for me. One of those little luxuries that I carry along. So, but yeah, this is a great backpack that served me well, and I don't know, I'd recommend it. I don't know if they still make it, but it's been a great pack. Okay, as far as water goes, I usually just carry 2 or 3 items. I always carry a Nalgene. I find they're really convenient, especially when you're cooking, to have the graduation on the side. And then also, I wrap my duct tape around it for safety, you know, whatever I need duct tape for. And so my Nalgene weighs in at 7 ounces because I have so much duct tape on it. This is the MSR Myox. It's an okay filter. I'm not like super happy with it. It does a really good job of killing everything, and so that's great. But what it does is it creates a little, it uses battery power, and it creates a little brine up at the top that you dump in to your water, and you have to wait 20 minutes for it to totally purify. So, is it portable? Yes. Have I ever changed the battery? No, I have never changed the battery, and I've been using it for a couple years. So now I don't use it all the time. A lot of times I'll just bring portable agua or something like that, you know, iodine tablets. But I use it a lot, and I've never changed the batteries, so whatever, maybe that means I should. But I think there's something better out there. I think the new SteriPen, the SteriPen Adventurer, is probably better than this, but that's another big chunk of change that I'm not willing to put out. So in the meantime, that's what I carry. This weighs 3 ounces, so I really can't complain about the weight. 3 ounces, for crying out loud. And then the other thing that I'll carry, especially if it's an extended hike, or if I know I'm going into an area with not a lot of rivers and stuff, which, by the way, the Northeast, covered with water, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But let's say I was going on an extended hike, I'll usually just buy a little Poland Spring bottle, weighs like an ounce, ounce and a half, something like that, and I'll use that as my backup, and that works pretty well. So that's what I do for water. I just did a video on my med kit, so if you guys want to go back in my videos and check it out, you can find out what's in here. But really it's just matches, ibuprofen, which you'd normally find in first aid kit, although this is highly modified from whatever Coolahans originally had in here. And then I always have some Camp biodegradable soap with me. So that's really what's in my first aid kit, and it comes in weighing 4 ounces. Okay, I call this the ditty section of my backpack. This is all the little stuff that you got to be careful about, because if you don't watch it, this stuff can really eat your lunch. This can really add up to a lot of weight. So let's go left to right. Start off with the TP, an essential. I have it wrapped up in a little Charmin package, and then obviously waterproofed. I pick up more as I go. It's not an item I really buy much of. I'll just use a McDonald's restroom or something like that along the way and collect a little more and jump back on the trail. So, but I got enough there, and that comes to ½ ounce. So no big deal there. Rope. This is really my bear bag rope, but if I was not in bear country and I really wanted to set up my tarp between two large trees or something, this can also be used as an addition to my tarp setup. But you know, you can always use some rope. This is about 1 ounce. The Leatherman Micra. This is the knife that I'm currently using. I'd really like one with a can opener on it, but doesn't have a can opener. But anyway, the Leatherman Micra is 2 ounces, so good knife, has a lot of good stuff in it. An alarm clock. Most guys would either not carry one or have one on their watch. I prefer not to know what time it is when I am hiking. I just watch the sun and keep an eye on that as far as the sunset. But when I'm hiking, I like to get away from having a schedule and having the time. So I carry an alarm clock instead, so that most of the time I'm not actually looking at it. But I do want to wake up in the morning. Princeton Tech flashlight, simple. Compass, you always need a good compass. Sylvia compass. Oh, by the way, I'm skipping the weights on these guys. My alarm clock is 1 ounce. The light is 1.5 ounces. The compass is a ½ ounce. Spork! Titanium Spork by Snow Peak. That barely registered on the scale, but we're going to call it 0.2 of an ounce. And then this used to be a salt and pepper shaker. Now it's just a cut in half and only one side shaker. This is a mix that I really like in here that I've kind of made up. It's salt, pepper, garlic salt, all kinds of cool spices. So it goes great on everything. And yeah, this is 1 ounce. So that's my little spice kit. So those are my ditties. If you're not careful, those things can really add up. Okay, the last thing in my backpack is what I would consider a luxury item. A lot of times I'll have pen and paper, you know, or pen and pad, something to write a journal or something. But almost always I'm carrying this Bible. This doesn't look like a Bible, that's for sure. And that's because when I used to run track, this was the first time I ever ran track. This number here, number 8, was my hip number. They give you a sticker and you put this on your hip. Well, anyway, after I finished the race, I came over to my Bible and I stuck it on my Bible, and it's kind of stayed there ever since. Although it's not staying too well. Anyway, this is 3 ounces. It's a cool thing. I'm not... How do I put this? I really like having the Bible along. I like to read it. I have a personal relationship with God. I know that. I know that He died to pay for all the terrible, silly stuff that I've done. And so it's really cool that I can read about what He did and have this along with. So definitely a luxury item, but I think it's worth carrying. Okay, well now that's everything. You've seen it all. What everything adds up to, all the stuff that I showed you, 10 pounds, 9 ounces. Well, that's really not bad. I mean, if our goal is to shoot for a 10-pound base pack, and you take out the fuel that I counted, because I have at least 3 days worth of fuel counted into this weight, then you know what? We're there. We're there, 10-pound base pack. So we did really well, and I'm pleased with what I'm carrying. But you have to keep in mind that gear, especially what's in your backpack, is a real evolving thing. So tomorrow you might find a pot that you like that's better, or you might do this differently or that differently. You never know. So, of course, I'm happy with what I have now. Tomorrow could be totally different. I'm Russell, the Weekend Adventurer. I hope to see you guys out on the trail.